This young feminist convening has been sponsored by quite a number of donors. Probably the biggest is Mama Cash, and actually I'm really grateful to Mama Cash because they accepted the idea without hesitation. They put in the biggest money. AWDF is the second biggest donor, but we've also had Global Fund and Urgent Action Fund. And I'm saying this because I want them to know that every single dollar has been value for money. We have had 75 participants. We actually had 98% turn up, which is for me a very, very high achievement. And I think the topics are relevant. And I want to say that they took a brave step because not everybody sponsors young girls to go to a feminist convening. It's the first of its kind, and I want to assure them that this is the beginning of creating a young feminist movement in Uganda.
Wake up, good morning. This is Africa calling.
Being a woman. Being a woman is so good. Because without a woman, the nation won't be there. My mom gave birth to me as a woman. So I see being a woman as a great thing, and I'm proud to be a woman.
First of all, I actually have to accept the fact that being a woman is not a problem. It's natural, and that's how I was created. So being a woman should be taken like any other person, any other human being. It's not a crime to be a woman. I love that. I love being a woman.
And realizing that it is these people, the men, who at times want to segregate us, that it is me as a woman who will give birth to them, and it is like some other person like my mom who gave birth to them. That really makes me feel good about being a woman.
I became a feminist because feminism is womanhood. Feminism is what happens in our daily lives, and so if we are to question, if we are to challenge the unequal power imbalances, then all of us, if we are to acknowledge that there is imbalance in our community and do something about it, that automatically qualifies everybody or any man or woman as a feminist. That's why I'm a feminist, because I acknowledge that there are so many power imbalances between women and men, and where I'm also affected as an individual. And in order to be able to do something about it, I have to become a feminist so that I can struggle for that and be freed.
In my own words, as a woman, I would think that feminism is being able, as a woman, to fight for your own rights, knowing what's right and going for it, fighting for equality among fellow women.
The way I understand feminism is the fact that I accept that in my society, in my country, there is gender inequality, and then going ahead and doing something about it. I appreciate the fact that even us as women, even though we are being regarded as, like equal to men, we are not actually equal because of the way they treat us.
Now, how can we talk about power and feminism? Power is all about authority, is all about leadership, strength of someone. Yeah. Still with power, when we're in our homes, it's the men who dominate everything. But as women, we have to also have that fixation as women, that right from the syllabus, we know that father is the head of the family,
which is
but
wrong.
we have to prove it wrong and say a mother can lead a family. Do you agree?
I do agree, because there are some families where there is a single mother, like where I come from. My mom is a single mother.
Yeah.
So, though I was taught that the father is the head of the family, my mom has been the head of where I've grown from up to this age of mine. So I don't believe in that.
Patriarchy brings about this inequality. Most of the time it starts from the roots at home. We as young girls, when we are growing up with our brothers, most of the time they are taken to be the superior. When they are giving us household chores, they'll give the men what they are supposed to do, and they say, you're supposed to sit, Girls are supposed to do housework, you're supposed to be a housewife, you're supposed to take care of your man, you're supposed to do this, so you're not supposed to be above him. So that brings the inequality starts originally from home.
You realize that if you grow up from a family that does not support gender, inequality, when you grow up, there's a way it is reduced, because even when you grow up as a man and you go in that office and you're making a decision, you're not going to consider this woman as being inferior, because you grew up from a family that well molded you, and you grew up knowing that a woman is just like me, the man. We can still make equal decisions.
First of all, I'm a mother. I have a son. And as you realize that patriarchy gives privileges to the boys, so my plan of action is to bring up my boy understanding that is equal with the girls that I may produce, or with the girls that he will interact with. I believe that as mothers, we are the custodians of patriarchy. So it's my role to unpack patriarchy, beginning with my son himself, teaching him what he has to do and what he doesn't have to do, teaching him respect, teaching him that girls are as important as he is.
I think one of the challenges is meeting people, women especially, who actually believe that patriarchy, there's nothing wrong with it. Working with people who believe that you are a trouble causer, you are disturbing the balance of society. It is a challenge, because then you really literally have no entrance point. But everybody must always make the entrance point. People don't connect, do not see the relationship, for example, between maternal mortality and women's subordination. They think it's because of poor health care system. It's not. Violence, we have very high violence. People do not understand that women do not cause violence, but actually a lot of people believe women are causing violence against themselves. So for me, those are the challenges, that even among women, they are willing to tolerate violence because they are not willing to question the subordination of women. Young feminists, I would say you need to be prepared for the challenges. You need to be brave. You need to read and be able to speak from an informed position. You need to have an analytical mind, because people will challenge you. People will tell you what is wrong with you. You have to have both technical knowledge, you have to have cultural knowledge, but you have to have courage. You have to have courage and know that what you are doing is right. I really want to say that unless women, especially women feminists, women movements, start creating new feminists among young women, we will lose the battle. We will lose the battle, because as they say, as sure as day and night, we will not be there. So we need to create succession. I think the women's movements all over Africa, as far as I know, are very weak in creating succession. And that's why for us at Mempo, we are determined that we replace ourselves. You can't just change your own situation unless you change the situation of women. You cannot deal with violence as an individual unless you deal with violence as it is perpetrated by a system that creates one part of society as having more power over another part of the society. So for me, collective activism is what will change the system. You might change your life as an individual, but down the road, your daughter, your son will be involved unless the system of patriarchy has been changed by a collective activism. And you may see something wrong with the patriarchy, for example. If the others don't see it, you cannot make change.